Hi friends, welcome to our lecture 5 of Quality Management System, which is ISO 9001-2015. This is Amar Dinesh Singh. Let's quickly recap what we discussed in lecture 4. We discussed about clause 4 and its subclauses, which was 4.1, 4.2, 4.3 and 4.4. 4.1, which was the understanding the organization and its context. 4.2 Understanding the needs and expectations of interested party. 4.3 Determining the scope of the quality management system. 4.4 Quality management system and its processes. What are we going to discuss in today's lecture, which is lecture 5? We are going to discuss about the clause 5, which is leadership. Its three subclauses, which is 5.1, 5.2 and 5.3. 5.1 stands for the leadership and the commitment. 5.2 the policy, and the 5.3 the organizational role, responsibility and authorities. So what do we exactly mean by the leadership? So it is a skill which involves motivating a group of individuals to work towards a common goal. It involves leading and guiding the staff and colleagues with a strategy or a plan to meet the business needs of the company. QMS implementation cannot be successful without the leadership commitment towards it. Leadership needs to believe in the system themselves. Only then they can ensure that the team understands its importance and benefits it clearly. So question comes, why is it really important? So many of the process improvement it fails when leaders do not take the active participation and don't lead it from the front. To bring the QMS closer to a business, leaders, when they are directly getting involved in the effectiveness of the QMS, ensure that the quality is an integral part of the business and each person takes it as seriously as the leader does. It is a skill which involves motivating a group of individuals to work towards a common goal. Since ISO 9001 lays a lot of emphasis on the risk-based thinking, establishing internal and external issue, requirement of interested parties and planning the QMS around it. That makes it important for the top management to be involved in all the stages of establishing and maintaining the QMS. Finally, but not the least, meaning of leader stands aloud. So leader is abbreviated as L, loyal, E, empathy, A, advancement, D, diplomacy, E, ethics, and last R means responsibility. Subclause 5.1 Leadership and Commitment. 5.1.1 General. So the top management shall demonstrate the leadership and commitment with respect to a QMS by taking all these steps into their account. The first one is taking the accountability for the effectiveness of the QMS system, ensuring that the quality policy and the objectives are established for the QMS and are compatible with the context and strategy direction to the organization. Ensuring the integration of the QMS requirements into our organization business processes. Promoting the use of process-based approach and the risk-based thinking. Ensuring that the resource needed for the QMS system are available in place. Communicating the importance of the effectiveness QMS and confirming to the QMS requirements. Leadership should ensure that the QMS achieve its intended results as what it has been made for. Engaging, directing and supporting persons to contribute to the effectiveness of the QMS, promoting improvement. At last, supporting other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership as it applies to the area of responsibility. So this is few the commitment which leadership or the leaders of the particular organization should take or should take it into a serious account. Subclause 5.1.2, which is a customer focus. The top management shall demonstrate the leadership and commitment with respect to a customer focus by ensuring that customer and applicable statutory and regulatory requirements are determined, understood, and consistently met. The risk and opportunity that can affect the conformity of the product and services and the ability to enhance customer satisfaction are determined and been addressed. The focus on enhancing the customer satisfaction is been maintained. Now, subclass 5.2 policy. Since now we had made the QMS, so the quality management system mainly depends upon the two aspects, which is the quality policy and the quality objective. So once we have made this quality policy and the objective, so who is going to establish this, or who is going to bring this into a particular organization? So definitely this leadership plays an important role in establishing the quality policy in a given organization. So the first step for the establishing the quality management system is to define the quality policy as well as the quality objective. Eventually, top management should establish, implement and maintain a quality policy that is appropriate to the purpose and context of the organization and support its strategic direction. Secondly, it should provide a framework for setting the quality objectives. It includes a commitment to satisfy the applicable requirements. It must include a commitment to a continual improvement of the QMS system. This quality policy shall be reviewed periodically by the top management based on changes in the context of the organization. This can be done during the management review meeting. So, this MRM meeting is mostly occurred once in a year or twice a year. It depends upon how the organization are going to frame their guidelines. 5.2.2 Communicating the quality policy. So friends, when this leadership or when the top management of the particular organization they have implemented or they have established the quality policy, now the concern comes as to how to communicate this quality policy to the interested party. This interested party we have already discussed in the clause 4. So there were two types of interested party. The first one was the internal party and the second was the external party. So the external party, for example, the stakeholder, the customers, etc. So what we can do, we can communicate this quality policy either via mail, either via documented information, either via advisory notice to customers. To the internal parties, for example, the employee or the organization, they can be given a copy of this quality policy, even they can be given a proper training. So this training and giving a copy of it can be a part of communication. So the quality policies represent the organization core value and strengthen the commitment towards the quality. It is important that it is understood well within the organization and each employee is aware of the quality policy. The quality policies shall be available and be maintained as a documented information. It should be communicated, understood and applied within the organization. It should be available to a relevant interested party as appropriate. 5.3 Organizational Role, Responsibility and Authorities. The subclause of ISO 9001 requires that the top management must provide the adequate resources and assign the responsibility and authority necessarily to implement the QMS effectively. So the leaders or the top management cannot alone can drive the company, or they can't drive or they can't ensure that the QMS can be implemented across the organization. So what they do, they define the role, the responsibility and the authorities of the employees who has been recruited in a particular department. For example, in the case of production department, they will assign the responsibility and they will be given a particular quality objective to implement in a given year. So all their tasks should align as per the organization quality policy and the objectives, or even their daily routine work must stick with these requirements. So the simple method of doing this is to define the organization structure and the associated hierarchy. Various methods like job description, organization map, charts, procedures, work instruction can be used to define the organization structure and the responsibility within the organization. This job description is an easy mechanism through which you can specify what trainings, qualification and experience each job role require. The organization structure, role and responsibility needs to be communicated and deployed throughout the organization via a orientation program, a training, a meeting, or through a procedure or the work instructions. Thank you. Please follow me on below links to get more details, which is Instagram, LinkedIn, and the YouTube.